Yo, what's going on, guys? Today we're going to be talking about 5 actionable strategies to quit porn for Christian men who are ready to carry their cross and kick porn for life. Why should you listen to me talk about quitting porn? I started watching porn at 11 years old, struggled for nearly a decade, and now I'm over a year porn free. And I run a community of almost 200 men, and we have a massive mission inside this community to quit porn. Many guys are over 100 days free, many guys are over a year free, like myself. So we are leading the charge in quitting porn inside of Elevate. And I just wanted to give you the 5, I think, biggest things there are to quitting porn. Kicking off, number one, vision. So, in order to quit porn or really any other habit, like you have to know why you want to quit. You have to have a vision of that man you want to be on the other side of this habit. Just like, when you go hit the gym, it's very easy to understand why you are going through that hard thing of hitting the gym and eating right. It's because you vision yourself jacked on the other side, right? Well, same thing with porn is like you have to know the reward that's on the other side. So maybe you want to build a godly marriage. Maybe you just want to renew your mind, renew your thoughts, and stop objectifying women. Maybe you just understand, like, hey, until I quit porn and quit objectifying women and this corruption in my heart, I can't become that leader, the father, a husband, etc., the man that God placed me here to be. So, whatever that is on the other side of quitting porn, you have to be very clear on what that is. And how I help guys get very clear on doing that is by writing their own eulogy. Literally write the life of Matt Moore and cover these topics right here. Cover your time, cover your wealth, cover your health, cover your giving, cover your relationships, and cover your relationship with God. Write those out, get very detailed, and literally act as if you were a friend at your funeral delivering this. Matt was an abundant giver. Matt was very intentional with his time. Like, fill that in for yourself, but consider the eulogy at the end of your life and then factor in, how does porn hinder me from getting there? You have to know what's on the other side of quitting porn in order to quit. And it has to be extremely clear. Get detailed. I'm talking vivid details down to the shirts you're going to wear and the size you're going to be and how your body's going to look. Like, try to get as detailed as possible here. Next tip I would give you guys is you got to have a mission. I think something that's so very apparent. We've all heard this: idle hands are the devil's playground. So put your hands to work by building your mission, by building the kingdom of God. And I think for me, when I was struggling with porn, the days that I watched porn, the highest percentage days that I watched porn were the days that I were least productive. I guarantee if you could go back and almost graph every single day that I watched porn, you could see the least productive days was the most watched time of porn and struggling with it. Because when you're not feeling productive, you need that dopamine hit, that ego boost of your, you have some sort of dominion or kingdom here, and watching porn like gives us that very temporarily, very burst like sense of control, I guess you could say. So what's it going to take to be on a mission? Well, one, you got to have a vision for what you want to get out of life. So you got to set the goal, set the destination, and then being on mission is literally like driving to get there. It's doing the work, whatever your time looks like, your wealth, your health, your giving, your relationships, your relationship with God. Like, writing out that eulogy should cultivate a ton of stuff that, oh my God, I got to work on this. I got to start hitting the gym more. I got to start giving more. I got to start making more. I got to start being more intentional in my relationships. Like, whatever it is, like, get on mission, stay on mission. Some actionable hacks to, I guess, keep you on mission is, it's going to take effective planning. Like, you cannot be on mission and be productive if you don't have a to-do list. You don't have some sort of plan laid out. Like, if you're just completely winging your days, never going to make it, right? Um, and I know a lot of guys who have that excuse of, I'm not a planner. And I used to say that as well. I'm not a planner. Well, you just got to become one. Like, if you want to be effective and you want to be on mission and you want to quit porn, you want to be a highly valued man, like, you have to plan. Like, you got to plan your life, and plan your days, and stay on mission. And then dismiss emotions. I don't feel like it. I am tired. Like, we all are. Like, everyone has rough times. Everyone's tired. Everyone is working hard. Like, we all are experiencing this world equally, like, simultaneously. So it's like, if you want to get ahead of other people, you want to become that man that God placed you here to be. It's like, you have to do what they want. So when the people tap out, when they're tired, when they're ready to quit, like you got to be able to keep going. So you have to remove those emotions and look at it objectively of here's what has to get done. No matter how I feel, I have to get this done. And I think one way to do that is point three here is by having the right perspective, a long-term perspective. Understanding the famous quote, Rome wasn't built in a day. Well, neither will we be. So one day of watching porn or one missed workout or a missed meal or whatever it is, like instead of getting so caught up in the emotions of that mistake you just made, of that bump you just hit, zoom out. Like if you used to watch porn every day and you make one mistake in a week, like look at how many times can I go a year without watching porn? Like 5 years, 10 years. If I can go from watching porn 7 days a week to in a year I only watched it 7 times, like that's a really big deal, and you will be able to overcome those short obstacles, those short mistakes and slip ups if you can zoom out and have that bigger perspective in that emotional distressed moment. So zoom out, get some perspective, remove the emotions, have a plan in place, and keep chipping away at your mission. Community. Obviously, I'm bullish on community. Like I mentioned in the beginning, I have a community of nearly 200 men, like-minded dudes that I want to be like. And I would not be where I'm at if I didn't have those men sharpening me each and every single day. They are the reason I quit porn. They are the reason I chose to abstain from sex until I get married. Like, of course, God played a huge role, and of course, the work that I put in played a huge role. But without the support of that community, without having people who normalized quitting porn, like if you're hanging out around a bunch of guys who aren't on the same page around quitting porn and objectifying women or making money or building your body, it's just not going to happen. And the Bible puts it this way: "Do not be yoked together with unbelievers. For what do righteousness and wickedness have in common, or what fellowship can light have with darkness?" Like we should not be yoked together with people who are not pursuing life at the same tenacity that we are. Another verse from the Bible that speaks to this: iron sharpens iron as one person sharpens another. It takes two pieces of iron. If you have a bunch of rumbos as friends, like good luck quitting porn if they're all watching porn. It's just probably not going to happen. That's just the reality of it. Am I saying they're bad guys? No, I'm saying that you have a mission to fulfill in your life, and you should be doing whatever it takes to get there. You deserve it. God deserves it. Your future family deserves it. The people around you deserve it. Even those friends deserve the best version of you. So if it means separating yourself from them, distancing yourself from them to go achieve that so you can be an inspiration for them, then you literally need to do that. Or if we want to put it in the self-development guru terms, who probably think that they invented this stuff, even though it all comes from the Bible, you are the 5 people you surround yourself with. We've heard that a bunch of times, and it's absolutely the truth. So find yourself a community, whether that's Elevate, whether it's a local community, whatever it is, surround yourself with people that you actually want to be like. Environment. This one is so big. This is why like moving out of the hometown works for so much growth, because the easiest way to change your identity is to change your environment. Like I said, moving out of the hometown. I've made 2 cross-country moves in the last year. So much growth has come from each of those. Am I saying you got to keep moving across the country, across the world, whatever? No, but you have to change your environment. Your environment should be constantly evolving towards your future vision and the man that you want to become. How can you change your environment? Literally, like rearrange your bedroom, throw out old clothes, things that are just cluttering your space. Try to organize, keep your space clean. Like, grow up, be a man, keep your space clean, get the stuff out that you're not going to use, you're not going to wear. And this will create a pattern interruption in how you go about life. Like, if you are so used to going through the motions in your life of just having this, I don't know about you guys, but when I was struggling with porn, it was almost just like a habitual thing of how I took my actions, and then I ended up watching porn and masturbating. And it's like, until you have some pattern interruptions within that like rut that you're just living in, you're never really going to change. So you need to interrupt that pattern by rearranging your room, changing your environment, doing whatever you have to do. Add new art. Put some crosses on your wall if you want to point back to God. Put some, I don't know, some motivational quotes written on your mirror with dry erase marker. I've done that many times in my life. While I was trying to quit porn, I literally had Son of God written on my mirror because I needed that reminder every single day to understand who I was and whose I was to be able to overcome porn. So interrupt the patterns, add new stuff that's going to point you toward the man you want to become. Minimalist is best though. Like, don't get me wrong. Don't go buy a bunch of stuff or add a bunch of stuff. Like, you need to be as minimal as possible. That's just going to declutter your mind. A clutter-free space is a clutter-free mind. Um, and literally, like, don't be stingy with what you're keeping. Like, how you should audit the things that you are keeping or adding is, does this point me toward the man I want to become or the man that I was in the past? Ask yourself that question. Yes or no? No, throw it out. Yes, keep it or add it, whatever it is. Easy as that. Similar to number 4, environment, let's talk about inputs. So, number 5, inputs here. Romans 12:2, do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Then you will be able to test and approve what God's will is, his good, pleasing, and perfect will. So this is basically saying we literally have to rewire our brains to the truth. It's like we're on the wrong radio frequency. We have to keep like fixing that static by dialing in our knob, by consuming the word, by consuming worship music, by praying, by being around equally yoked believers with fellowship. Like, you have to continue to just dial in that radio frequency that you're listening to until it's to the truth. Am I ever going to get there? I don't know, but I'm going to work at it every single day. Something to consider within this is 90% of our thoughts are recurring daily. Think about that. Think about if something, 90% of your thoughts are just on repeat in your mind. They're either saying really good stuff, really bad stuff, really meaningless stuff, or really worthwhile stuff. Like, you just have these thoughts just churning over and over in your mind, programming who you are, programming your identity, programming your actions just again and again and again. So think about that. Changing the environment, disrupting those patterns, like I talked about, is going to be a great way to change those thoughts. Also, auditing your inputs. Um, Audit your social media feed. Again, just like environment, ask yourself the question, does following this person point me towards the man I want to become? Or does it point me towards that past self? Like, unfollow those people from high school. Like, what benefit is that getting you to keep those people on your feeds? If they're not pointing you toward God and the man that you want to become, they got to go. It's as simple as that. Like, what are you willing to do to become that man? What are you willing to do? How far are you willing to go to quit porn and become a better version of yourself? Like, you must be willing to go as far as it takes because, like I said earlier, God deserves it, you deserve it, your future family deserves it, the people around you deserve it. Why are you sabotaging yourself by following BS people on social media? You should not be doing that. Cultivate your feed, cultivate your inputs. Excuse me, towards the man that you want to become.